Team, the Real G Sports Show. I'm your host, Griffin King, and today we're going to be talking about some Auburn football today. Of course, I got the little Auburn background here going. I got my Auburn gear, and I'm ready to go. Um, so just to recap spring a little bit here. So we just had our A-Day game just Saturday. So it hasn't been that long since, we've had our A-Day game. So I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit and, talk about that. I also wanted to talk about the Auburn Nike deal, which is really super, super interesting to me because everything Under Armour is going to be going away and it'll all be transferred to Nike. Um, so just wanted to get into that a little bit. So first off, talking about spring a little bit, um, I think we've had a pretty decent spring. We still really don't know who our starting quarterback is going to be. Um, you know, I didn't really like what I saw of Hank Brown this offseason. He's been putting in the work. I just feel like maybe he probably needs a little bit more time at that position. Um, I think 9 for 13, Peyton Thorne's probably going to be our best bet at that position again. Um, obviously I didn't expect anything else. Freshman's not going to start, obviously. Didn't really see much of Walker White in the A-Day game. I'd like to definitely see him a little bit more coming down the line, but it's understandable considering he is a freshman and he really just doesn't have that experience yet. But speak about freshmen, Cam Coleman, that is a dude. Um, Talk about someone who's absolutely shown out all spring, and it's like you got to buy stock for this guy because he's just he's so good, and you know obviously being a 5-star recruit. Wait, what? Obviously being a 5-star recruit, he's gonna come with a lot of hype around that talent, and honestly, I do think the talent is there, and I think the hype is exactly where it needs to be because Cam Coleman is an absolute player, man. Um, he really, really impressed me during spring, especially when, he caught a 50-yard bomb from Peyton Thorne that was honestly one of the worst throws I saw during that game in general. He like he caught it right here, and it was just it was a really crazy catch. But we really do need to be getting used to seeing that from Cam Coleman because he's going to be a phenom. Um, One of the biggest questions I think coming into the season is our quarterback room and our wide receiver room because we just have a lot of question marks there. With obviously having experienced guys like Jay Fair still there and all that. Um, I think, we have the talent there, but, being as half of our guys are freshmen and some of them aren't even enrolling until the summer, I think there's really going to be a lot of question marks right there. I think Cam Coleman's for sure a definite starter. Um, Bryce Kane could also get some playing time. Perry Thompson coming in the summer. I'm still really excited about him. Um, and also, let's not forget about Rivaldo Fairweather, who I think is going to be probably our, our top receiver coming into the season, honestly. I expect him to get much more targets, especially after he's had such a good spring. Um, Honestly, I think Auburn recruiting in general is going to be going up because of the Nike deal. Um, I haven't really been able to look out there much of concepts of our new Nike uniforms, but I'm really interested to see what everybody thinks. Do we think do us Auburn fans think the uniforms are gonna change a lot? If so, is there anything y'all have in mind? Um, I really want to know how the orange jerseys would be. Honestly, I think that's one of the top things of my list is having orange jerseys back for Auburn. I've seen a couple concepts out there. I've seen people with orange Auburn jersey profile pictures. Auburn's main thing is orange. And we have it in basketball, and honestly, it looks really good. So why not have it in football? I just really think there's something Nike could do to have orange jerseys. Like, we haven't had orange jerseys since what? Someone can give me the year, I'm sure. It's like 1970, 1980. It's some crazy, crazy old year. But it's been a minute since Auburn has even, changed their jerseys at all. Since, the last apparel deal they had was like 25 years ago. And, I think it's a change Auburn needed just as a brand. Um, Thinking of recently, there's been a lot of like coaching changes in the Auburn brand. Hugh Freeze also coming in for the football staff. You know, Obviously Bruce Pearl's continuing to continue his run there, and baseball, Butch Thompson really trying to take Auburn to the next level there. Um, I just really think this apparel deal is going to be really good for recruiting, especially basketball and football recruiting, because when you look at apparel, what is the first thing that comes to mind? It's Nike, right? Just do it. Everybody thinks like, the Nike shoes, Jordan and all that type of deal. Everybody thinks of Nike as the number one brand in everything. And I think this is going to be really good for Auburn apparel because, I feel like Nike just has a lot more creativity when it comes to stuff. I feel like they also have a lot more openness. Like, one of the biggest problems I had with Under Armour is like they had zero creativity with the jerseys at all. Like the recent basketball jerseys, for instance, they almost seemed really plain. Um, I liked them for the most part, but I just think we could have included some more, colors and designs, make it cool, like, Nike does. But Under Armour just hasn't had that recently, and honestly, I really have noticed a huge drop off in Under Armour quality stuff. I used to get like a ton of Under Armour stuff personally, like that was my like number one apparel thing. Like I had these Stephen Curry shoes. It was like the first shoes I got as a kid, and they absolutely sucked. Like they would stab my heels. It was just horrible. And then a couple months later, I got some Nikes, and I was like, wow, these are so much better than the Under Armour shit that they put out. And just looking from, even a kid's perspective, even from a sale perspective, I think there is a lot more sales to be had in Nike than there is Under Armour. And I also think there's a lot more recruiting. Um, there's a lot of guys that nowadays they sign apparel deals before they're even in college, which, really has a lot to do with their choice of school. A lot of times Alabama gets all the guys because, they're the biggest Nike school out there right now. Well, now Auburn can compete with that because they're also Nike. Starting in the year 2025. I'm not sure what everybody else has heard, but if they do give our jerseys a redesign, do we stick with like the same old stuff with like just a couple of tweaks, or do we go on like full-fledged new era like new jerseys? Um, I really want to hear y'all's opinion in the chats if y'all can comment. Um, do y'all want like a full-fledged rebrand, or do y'all want to stick, with kind of what Under Armour was giving us? My personal opinion, I think there's no problem with sticking with the old ones, but I also think there needs to be more alts. Like, I'm talking, more creativity. I think we need to bring back orange jerseys. Um, I think there's a couple other colors that, I would like to see. I would like to see, orange pants a lot more, and, something like that. I just feel like that would work. Obviously we've seen the, orange face masks, but that is like barely a tip of the iceberg is what we can possibly do with the Nike deal coming. Um, And to be completely honest, I really think that the Auburn apparel has really needed a big change. Um, you know, the football jerseys especially, because I feel like they really haven't got the changes they've deserved. Like it's almost we're like stuck in the past with our jerseys and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love our jerseys, and I will never like not love Auburn's jerseys. But I just feel like to catch up with the rest of people, we just gotta have more alternates, more colors. Like you have like some schools like FAU doing freaking purple jerseys, and purple's not even one of their colors, and that's just crazy to me because it's Nike doing that. Nike has the biggest creativity, and I feel like finally our apparel team will be able to make that deal with Nike and be like, hey, let's be a little bit more creative with the jerseys. Let's give them a new twist. The fans haven't seen. Now I don't want them to mess it up, but I think that change it has been a long time coming, and I think it'll be absolutely amazing for Auburn as a brand. Um, Talking a little bit more about the Auburn roster and like the turnover, um, I'm really impressed with how our defense played in that game. Now the DBs I wasn't very impressed with. There's still a lot of question marks in that scenario of things. Um, I really think there's a lot to improve on in that area. But one thing I think will be our core position in the upcoming season is our linebacking core. I do really think our linebacking core with Eugene Sante, obviously, a couple other guys staying as well, the freshmen we're bringing in. I think it's going to be a great, great front core of defense. Obviously, there was also the rumors of, you know, Keontae leaving, but he ended up staying, or quote unquote, he never left the transfer portal. But I think he will be our probably top and upcoming guy this next season. Honestly, think he's going to be our defensive MVP almost. He's going to be really, really good for us. We seen it last year. He had like what 4 or 5 picks. Honestly, I really, really think that Keontae Scott is gonna have like a breakthrough year, and he's gonna, make that breakthrough, possibly, NFL level performance and all that. I think he can do it. Um, he's honestly my favorite player on the Auburn defense. One other guy that I haven't really talked about enough is I forgot his name now, but the frick, the name's gone. I had it and then Falk, Kendrick Falk. So he was our top recruit for the 2022 class, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 2022 class. He was the top recruit for the 2022 class, or that may have been last year. Yeah, 2023 class, and he showed some flashes. I'll be honest. I wasn't really impressed with him originally until I like compared the stats from other defensive end freshmen, and he was really good, honestly. Um, I really do expect him to take that next step. That is why I'm labeling him as the player to watch for the Auburn team this upcoming season. He's going to be really, really dangerous. I would honestly almost expect a 6 to 7 sack year for him. He's really fast coming off the edge. He can break your ankles. He's pretty strong. Um, I really, really think he's going to be the most improved player for the season for Auburn. Um, I also really think that our offensive line is much improved too. Um, there's a lot of places we needed to hit, and I feel like we did hit. We got a big boy in Favor Edwin. We got, a couple transfers here and there. We're also really beefing up our offensive line for the 2025 class. If y'all didn't just see that commitment the other day, forget what his name is, but Carday Smith committed to Auburn. Nearly a 5-star recruit right there. He's really good. Um, and also Tari Buster also committed just not too long ago. Um, so our offensive line's something we've really struggled in the past, and I really think this year we're on the trend up. I could really now I'm not gonna give my predictions for the 2024 season yet, but I really think we can make it anywhere from 7 to 9 wins. I think that is probably a realistic territory to be like in win scenario. Now I don't know how our offense is gonna look. I'll be real honest. Before Hugh Freeze got hired at Auburn, I really didn't watch him that much. I really didn't know much about him. I've watched some film from his past offense, and to be completely honest, um, it's pretty solid. I think there's a lot of things that it's gonna be different because he still has an offensive coordinator. He's just gonna be the one calling the plays. Um, I really think that we'll be really improved in this upcoming season. Another thing is our defensive coordinator, um, and our offensive coordinator, Patrick Nix. I think those positions are going to be things that are really going to be improved. Obviously, our defensive coordinator being, forgot his name, but I know Derek Nix is our OC. I forgot who got hired as our DC. DJ Durkin. DJ Durkin is really interesting guy for me. Um, all for the right reasons and for the wrong reasons. Just because, he's a guy that's kind of a little deep in turmoil a little bit, be honest. Um, and also, we really don't know how he's gonna run the defense. Now, will he be able to be better than Patrick Montgomery? Absolutely. He will be so much better than Sorry, that was our OC. Can't forget our. Honestly, maybe it's best that I do forget our last defensive coordinator's name, because he was awful. Absolutely terrible. And I honestly will not miss him at all. Um, Derek Nix or Patrick Nix, because we said about that. I meant Derek Nix. I'm getting a lot of my words twisted up here. I also said Philip Montgomery was the DC, even though he was actually the offensive coordinator. Yeah, it was Nix. Yeah, Derek Nix is our OC. Speaking a little bit more about that, I do think under Derek Nix, our offense will run much better, even though, he's not really going to control the offense. Now, yeah, Ron Roberts. Yeah, Ron Roberts. That's the guy I was remembering. Yeah, honestly, like I said, maybe it's best for us Auburn fans to forget about Ron Roberts because of, what happened in that Alabama game. The unforgivable sin of running prevent against one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the country. That is the unforgivable sin of college football. You just cannot do that. And honestly, I feel like Ron's defensive scheme just really didn't fit the Auburn, it didn't feel Auburn. Dropping like 4 or 5 guys back and, just blanket coverage everybody. Auburn has always been a team that's produced run stoppers. And I feel like that's one thing that defense was lacking was a really good run stopper. It almost felt like at times the pressure was non-existent from Auburn. Sometimes quarterbacks would sit back there for 6 or 7 seconds, and I'll be just like shaking my head, like, "Oh my gosh, why aren't we blitzing?" And, I may not know as much as a defensive coordinator and what they see, but I can see that when something's not working, you don't need to run it anymore. And I feel like that's the biggest problem with Ron Roberts. I'm really interested to see how DJ Durkin's gonna do, cause I'll be real honest. I don't know much about him. Um, I don't know what he runs. I think he runs like a 3-4. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I know he's a more blitz guy. Um, I'm just being real honest. I simply don't know much about him. Just because of the fact that, I probably need to do a little bit more scouting there. Um, I think he's a 3-4. I would have to look, but I think he's a 3-4. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what scheme he runs, but I think it's going to be pretty solid and interesting for, the Auburn defense. Also, Keontae moving to a completely different position now to safety. That's going to be really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, Yep, indeed I am off work. Finally, about time. I've been streaming about 21 minutes now, so I've been off for a little bit. Um, but yeah, talking about that a little bit more, it's going to be interesting to see, how our cornerbacks fare, not having Keontae at that position, because I feel like Keontae was like our best cornerback, at least, on our team. And, now without him, who's going to be the guy to step up? Um, I know we had one corner transfer. Was it JD Rhyme, I think? I think that's his name. I really am not really sure what other defensive backs we have. I know we got a transfer, Jaron Thompson. Um, who else? Who else? Trying to refresh my memory a little bit here. Yeah. Keontae at nickel, JD Rim, and I feel like there's one more guy I'm missing. It's been Caden Lee. There we go. That's who I'm thinking of. Caden Lee. That guy right there. Caden Lee's the guy that I look for to like step up the most. Yeah, Caden Lee. Um, that that's someone like I'm circling to maybe possibly step up, cause I feel like he can be really really good if he just gets the playing time, and I feel like he really hasn't gotten the playing time, so he can be kind of like that star guy for us almost at that corner position, because we've been kind of lacking at corner after Keontae's moved to um nickel. It's gonna be really weird not seeing him in that like star cornerback position, and like moving to a whole different position. I wonder how he's gonna do. Um, I know in the bowl game, our cornerbacks really looked like they were struggling, so I hope that's not a sign to come. Um, One guy that I'm excited for to go on the plains and start getting more playing time. I'll call them the duo. Jamonte Walker and Amaris Williams. Amaris Williams especially. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Um, just because of the fact I feel like we got a lot of guys that can really rush the passer more this season. And I know a lot of freshmen aren't going to start on the defensive side of things, but I don't think there's a guy I'm more excited about than Amaris Williams. Like, he's 6'2", 253 pounds. And, the thing is, this dude ain't like your average defensive tackle either. Like, I feel like he's got the speed to play on the outside, and he's got the strength to play on the inside. He's like, he's almost like a train wreck is almost what I would call him. I expect him to do really, really good this season. Also, Jamonte Waller, too. I feel like a lot of people really aren't talking about him enough. Because, he's almost the same as Amaris Williams. He was actually ranked a 5-star recruit when he was like first in like the 24/7 and On3 rankings. he was like top 15 recruit, I'm pretty sure, in, in the country. And then he, I'm not sure what goes into their system, but he dropped off a little bit there at the end. Also, T.J. Lindsley too. I don't want to forget him because he was one of my favorite players that joined our team. Honestly, in my opinion, the 2024 like recruiting class was probably like the funnest class I've seen in a minute. Like it's like a almost a breath of fresh air because we were so used to the Harsin era and all that and just stinking it up in recruiting. But then we go out there and get players that could not only contribute right away, they can contribute for Auburn to years to come. I feel like our defense is probably realistically going to be better than our offense this year. Because, look, I'm sticking with whatever quarterback we go with, no matter what. But, that is a major question mark coming into this season is the quarterback play. Not because I don't believe in Peyton Thorne, but because I don't really know how our receivers are going to fare this season. Look, I know Cam Coleman's going to be really good. I know Perry Thompson's probably going to be pretty good. But it's got to be more than just freshmen stepping up for us. It's got to be, our seniors that's been there for a while. It's going to have to be our transfers we got. I know, Camden Brown is still on the team, so he's got to step up. Jay Fair, obviously. And, the rest of them, they're going to be pretty good. I think one guy I haven't talked about enough is Caleb Burton. So I feel like, honestly, last season he was like one guy that, yeah, Camden Brown and Robert Lewis too, but I really think a lot of people have forgotten about Caleb Burton as well. Like, I feel like if he gets the chance on the field, he can be really, really good. Cause like, he was almost a track star. He was a track star, I'm pretty sure. To answer your question, it's not that I don't believe in Thorne. It's what's surrounding him that I'm worried about. Um, obviously looking at Peyton Thorne's stats, you know, he did pretty good in the Big Ten. So when it comes to competition, he can be right there. He can be like just as good as all these other players out there. And I honestly just think the problem is going to be Robert Lewis is always open. I'll be real honest, I haven't really seen enough film as I should of Robert Lewis. I know he played at like Georgia State and he was like a 1,000 yard receiver. Um, so that's something I'm probably gonna have to dig in a little bit more on. Um, another guy for me is our running back core: Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb, and Jarquez Hunter. That is something that's definitely not gonna be our. Yeah, I need to rewatch the A-Day game. I'll be honest. I saw some of the highlights, but I didn't really go through the like full game as I should have. But when I get a chance to, I'll review the film on that and see what you're talking about. But I feel like, honestly, the most exciting running back on the roster, in my opinion, isn't Jarquez Hunter, and it's not Damari Alston. This may be a little bit of surprise. Yeah, Batty is honestly still here, which I was really, really surprised about. But the most exciting guy is going to be Jeremiah Cobb for me. When he got the playing time, he reminded me so much of On Johnson. And I know that's big time like comparisons because On Johnson was one of the better running backs in Auburn memory. I feel like he can be that good. I also feel like Jarquez Hunter is in for a big season as well. So look out for him to be really, really good this season. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think I about covered all the bases on offense. I think. Just a little bit on defense. I just want to name some guys more that I'm excited about seeing on the Plains. Um, Forgot his name. So he's a freshman. It's the guy that I forgot to mention. DeMarcus Riddick. So I feel like Tank. Look, I love Tank, and I feel like no, there's absolutely love for Tank. Um, I just feel like he wasn't given the opportunity he should have. Um, I do still think Carryon Johnson slightly passes him, just barely, just barely. I think looking at the accomplishments, Carryon Johnson made it to an SEC title. Tank, really struggled in a lot of times. Um, I love Tank. I love Tank, but I feel like I really do feel like what's his name's better, just slightly though. But yeah, Demarcus Riddick. Um, I feel like that's one guy we haven't talked about enough either. I don't think he's gotten on the planes yet. I'm not sure who the early enrollees for us were, but I know there were several. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure Demarcus Riddick was our early enrollee. We're gonna have a lot of, I'm just now realizing we got a lot of like edge help coming in as like freshmen. And it's exciting, but at the same time I look at like the depth of our roster, I'm like, 1 or 2 years later, one of these guys might transfer out, and I'm like, that'll be such a waste of talent because we have so many good guys on the edge. Almost too many. Can you have too many good guys on the edge? Because I feel like we have almost like too much talent on that edge position. Like we have Keldrick Falk, Demarcus Riddick. Um, I named him earlier. Jamalti Waller, who will probably play Buck for us. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Riddick is on campus already. Yeah. Um, I feel like we almost have like. There's also one more guy, Joe Phillips. Yeah, Joe Phillips is an edge guy. I'm pretty sure. I know. I know Waller's a Buck, and I know Maurice Williams is a defensive line, like interior lineman. We have a really really good linebacking core. That's what I'm kind of taking away from like the whole stuff is like our linebacking core outshines everything else on the team, honestly. Um, Other than that star position with obviously Keontae. Interesting. Okay. Um, but yeah, honestly, our linebacking core is going to be really, really, really good. Obviously, there's also a couple guys that I feel like haven't gotten enough playing time at that position as well. So look for them to get a chance as well. Um, Also, our safety core, I think, is pretty solid for the upcoming season as well. I want to ask you guys a question that are here in the chat. Um, do we think Towns Mago versus McPherson's actually going to be like a real thing? Because, I mean, Towns was pretty crazy in that A-Day game. I want to know, do y'all think that's actually going to be like a real competition there? Or is it just like automatically no thought goes to McPherson? I want to know. No? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just asking because, like, it's crazy how, a freshman can come in and just, like, kick a 58-yard field goal just like that. I really think McPherson can honestly kick, like, a 60, to be honest. And I know it's honestly kind of unimportant because, it's special teams and we have a lot more to worry about. Also, want to know. I want to ask one more question to the chat. Out of our four quarterbacks that we have on our roster, Peyton Dorn, Walker White, Holden Griner, and Hank Brown, who is more likely to be successful at Auburn for the rest of their career? I personally, my opinion's Walker White, just because he really reminds me a lot of one guy that I really like. His name is Jarrett Stidham. He honestly probably should have won an SEC championship at Auburn if he had, not Gus Malzahn calling the plays. Um, I want to know who has the most upside at Auburn at quarterback. I'm thinking it's got to be Walker White, right? I mean, I don't think there's any other guys out there that has the potential that he has. I mean, he was nearly like a five-star recruit. It's honestly about utilizing, his talent at that point. So if y'all want to comment y'all's opinion in there, I'm reading the chat down right now. Let's see. Walker White because it sounds like what? I don't agree. Um, I know I heard about some of his struggles in high school and the interceptions. Um, okay, Peyton Thorne's the GOAT. Well, I'm talking like total like I get this just this year, but this is Peyton Thorne's last year, but like upside. Like who has the most upside? I agree that Hank has a lot of upside, but I feel like he needs a lot more development at that position as well. It's really interesting though. Because I've heard a lot of good about Walker White, and honestly, I've heard some people who's even said that they think that Walker White can start. Holden? Hmm. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of different things. So yeah, he has a lot of potential, definitely for sure. Honestly, I feel like all the responses are really fair, just because all of them are actually really really good kids too. Like I want to see them all succeed. To be completely honest, I would love for them all to get at least 1 year starting at Auburn, but with the way the transfer portal looks, it happens. Um, the unfortunate thing about Holden is I feel like he's probably not gonna last much longer here. And I know that sucks to say, but if he doesn't get the start this year, I don't know if he'll get the start ever. I think he might transfer out and go to like a smaller school in like the Sun Belt or something. Um, I think I could really really see Hank starting in 2025. Hey, I mean, it's definitely a debate. Cause I mean, we only saw Holland for like just a couple possessions in the A Day. I'm not honestly. Neither of them did really good at A Day, which is honestly not surprising because it's A Day. I don't like to base my opinions off of an A Day game, which is honestly kind of just there for the kids to go out and have fun and enjoy, and just get some game time practice in. But honestly, I somewhat agree with everybody in there, just in here, just because I feel like all of them can be really, really good. Um, I would honestly really like to see Hank or yeah, I don't know. Um, I think all of them have the potential. It's just about getting the chance. And I'll be honest, I don't know if Hugh Freeze is gonna let either one of them get the chance. Honestly, because Peyton Thorne's obviously starting this year. We don't know how long that's gonna last. He may shit. I mean, he may prove me completely wrong and be in the running for Heisman, but um, we don't know how that's gonna go. So we could see some Hank or Holden, or I doubt Walker White, but we could see some Hank and Holden this year. But it's either gonna be, if Holden doesn't leave, it'll be a Hank versus Holden and Walker White show in 2025. It's gonna be really, really interesting. And honestly, I would not be. I know a lot of people have been talking about around like recruiting stuff that Auburn might be looking for another like quarterback recruit to get. I've heard that Texas guy. What's his name? I can't think of his name now. Lacey. Um, I think there's one other guy, but I can't think of his name. I think Bari said that babysitter Bari said that he might have Auburn in his top 5. Forgot his name. It's like some weird name. But I know he has Auburn in his top 5, but I'm just not sure where the cards will fall on that one. I don't think Lacey's locked into Texas, I'll be honest. I'm not trying to be like a hater here, but genuinely, I would rather much see the guys that we have right now at Auburn get the development than us bring in 5-star recruit quarterback. And I have no problem with 5-star recruit quarterbacks, but I just feel like with the talent we have sitting on our bench right now, it would just be a waste almost of talent, just having those guys to come in just so they can transfer out the next year. I forgot what that dude's name is. It's a really weird name. I'll have to look on the 2025 offer list real quick. It's like some weird name that we're going after. Hold on. I'll look and then it'll pop into my head. Let's see. Okay. Prospects. Quarterback. Let's see. What is his name? Ryan Montgomery. Okay, that's the guy that I was thinking about, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he has like Auburn in his top 10 or whatever, I think. Maybe another guy. I know we send out several offers at that quarterback position, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy that I'm thinking about. Anyways, I'm probably gonna end this for now. I think we pretty much covered all the bases for Auburn talk today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Let me know before I go in the comments. Thoughts on CO? Who? Who's CO? You have to like spell out the full name for me because it's been a little bit since I talked about Auburn. I actually don't have a TikTok page right now at the moment. That's something I'll probably think about doing in the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to kind of, branch my brand out a little bit and all that. So I don't have a TikTok page, but, I will keep everybody updated with, all the new stuff coming in. I'm really thinking about, really getting my brand out there and trying to push things. And yeah, I've definitely thought about it. Honestly, the only thing stopping me from making a TikTok right now is because honestly, I don't support the platform very much. I don't know why, but I just don't. Every time I see a clip from TikTok, it makes me mad. Okay, but before I go, real question here. What is the uniform combo from Nike that everybody would want to see most? You gotta say orange jerseys, man. Gotta say it. It's gotta be the orange jerseys, man. If it's not the orange jerseys, I want to know what would be the best option for Auburn to go with. But real quick question before I go. No? Why not? I mean, come on. Come on, man. We gotta change something up. I'm telling you, I think the orange jerseys would look good. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all something right now. And I wanna tell y'all, I wanna hear yes or no. Alright, I'm about to share my screen. Alright. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying, dude. Stormtroopers? You're gonna probably have to, like, send me a picture of those in DMs. Because honestly, I'm not really familiar with those. Okay, I'm about to share y'all. And share this real quick. Okay. Alright, showing this on screen now. Okay, y'all cannot tell me this does not look fire, dude. Y'all cannot tell me this does not look fire. I mean, I'm not talking full orange. Like, do like a combo. Do like orange, white. I feel like that would look so, so good, dude. Like, look at this. You can't tell me these don't look good. It's Auburn, man. We see the orange practice jerseys. See? Orange practice jerseys right here. And those look pretty good, honestly. That's crazy, though. I just think the orange jerseys would be a really good choice. Well, alright, everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support from everyone while I'm trying to grow my brand here. And I will see y'all probably either Saturday or tomorrow. I'll probably do one either Saturday or tomorrow. Alright, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm your host, Griffin King, and I will see